Mandated by the Residency Review Committee. There were too many mistakes made last year. Fatigue played too big a role.
Fatigue. Fatigue.
Fatigue played too big a role.
Around before he changes his mind.
Oh, and people, our nurses are going to have to work extra hours to compensate, so treat them well.
Compensate. Compensate.
Extra hours to compensate, so treat them well.
You look fresh, spry. You glow. What? You stop now.
O'Malley, go do an intake on Addison Shepherd's patient.
Intake. Intake.
O'Malley, go do an intake on Addison Shepherd's patient.
You do glow.
Like the moon.
Glow. Glow.
You do glow.
Like the moon.
There. It's called a bee's orb.
Bezoar, huh?
And it's a clump of foreign matter that...
Clump. Clump.
And it's a clump of foreign matter that...
Bezoar, huh?
And it's a clump of foreign matter that couldn't be expelled with a prokinetic agent.
Expel. Expel.
It couldn't be expelled with a prokinetic agent.
80-hour limit. You?
Surgery was postponed.
Postpone. Postpone.
Surgery was postponed.
Loved. What? You said you loved her. Past tense.
Right, yes, Beth.
Well,
Tense. Tense.
Right, yes, Beth.
well. You said you loved her. Past tense.
Right, yes, Beth.
Well, then I have been shrieking about the trailer.
Shriek. Shriek.
Then I have been shrieking about the trailer.
For what? So we can eat the thing?
Ah! Computer have a delete button?
Delete. Delete.
Computer have a delete button?
I wanted to literally put it behind me and start a new book.
Okay, we all get the symbolism. It's painfully obvious.
No.
Symbolism. Symbolism.
Okay, we all get the symbolism. It's painfully obvious.
No.
That's why I biopsied both ovaries.
Is that bad?
It's really just a precaution, Bex.
Precaution. Precaution.
It's really just a precaution, Bex.
I'm just trying to figure out why someone with so much talent would want to do that.
Just a comic book.
Comic. Comic.
Just a comic book.
I was secretary and treasurer of the Dungeons and Dragons Club.
Oh, man.
Yeah. I was also a mathlete. And I won the blue ribbon in biology club.
Ribbon. Ribbon.
And I won the blue ribbon in biology club.
Lifetime in prison being loved by a big old girl named Hildy.
So my choices are homicide charges or...
Homicide. Homicide.
So my choices are homicide charges or...
And I'm hot. I'm a catch. You know, if you can wrap your head around the enlarged failing heart and the dependency to IV meds.
Dependency. Dependency.
Enlarged failing heart and the dependency to IV meds.
Biopsied ovary?
Not exactly. Arrange a meeting with Bex's parents, George. Oh, and find out who the on-call psychiatrist is.
Psychiatrist. Psychiatrist.
Oh, and find out who the on-call psychiatrist is. Externally, Bex has female genitalia. She looks like a girl, but internally, she has both female and male sex organs. So,
Internally. Internally.
but internally, she has both female and male sex organs. So the best news is that the lymph node tumor is benign. So physically, Bex is going to be just fine, but emotionally, psychologically, I strongly recommend therapy.
Psychologically. Psychologically.
But emotionally, psychologically, I strongly recommend therapy.
Pins and needles. No, needles and pins. Needles and pins, yeah. Yeah, sprouting from my fingers and toes like...
Sprout. Sprout.
Sprouting from my fingers and toes like...
I'll be on the phone with Dr. Bailey as the organ recovery progresses. We want to make sure that the heart stays viable.
Viable. Viable.
We want to make sure that the heart stays viable.
Mary and I were talking, and we think Bex should stay.
She can't handle something like this. You saw the scars.
Scar. Scar.
You saw the scars.
That she wants to be normal. She doesn't feel normal.
Why can't we just put an end to her agony?
Agony. Agony.
Why can't we just put an end to her agony?
Controlled with an oral medication.
We just want the best for Bex.
To do surgery and alter her body permanently is...
Permanently. Permanently.
To do surgery and alter her body permanently is... To do surgery and alter her body permanently is... Well, I just would never do that on someone who's unaware of the procedure. And
Unaware. Unaware.
who's unaware of the procedure. And
What are you doing here?
There is a clinical trial to study the progression of...
Progression. Progression.
There is a clinical trial to study the progression of... Hey, aren't you supposed to be having free time?
Oh, I did 5 loads of laundry, cut my split ends, studied, cleaned out the fridge.
Fridge. Fridge.
Cut my split ends, studied, cleaned out the fridge.
See the white line of told? Now we can mobilize the lateral border of the left colon.
Lateral. Lateral.
Now we can mobilize the lateral border of the left colon.
Much obliged, Brock. Much obliged, Al.
How you feeling?
Much obliged.
Oblige. Oblige.
How you feeling?
Much obliged.
What? Yeah.
Might be better if it's coming from you. With me, this baggage.
Baggage. Baggage.
With me, this baggage.
I told you I needed you on the floor.
He has fever, sweats, tingling in his lips, fingers, toes, mood swings, and lack of coordination. And then I mentioned the crazy talk.
Coordination. Coordination.
Mood swings and lack of coordination. And then I mentioned the crazy talk.
This treatment won't cure your mother. It won't give her a new lease on life, but it may give her more good days.
Lease. Lease.
It won't give her a new lease on life, but it may give her more good days.
Lying here trapped in this flesh prison, I've reached a grim conclusion.
Grim. Grim.
Lying here trapped in this flesh prison, I've reached a grim conclusion. Even my manic attempt to put my failed novel behind me failed. Time for a plan B, I reckon. Time, indeed.
Reckon. Reckon.
Time for a plan B, I reckon. Time, indeed.
That's a lot.
This is part of the hallucination, right?
My point is, we all have setbacks, Mauer.
Setback. Setback.
My point is, we all have setbacks, Mauer. Patient has been administered a chelator called British anti-leukocyte, which will absorb the mercury over the next several days.
Mercury. Mercury.
Will absorb the mercury over the next several days.
Heard my parents weren't too happy with you.
Nope.
Nope. Nope.
Nope.
Something that changes us. Ideally, it gives us hope.
Ideally. Ideally.
Ideally, it gives us hope.
Cooking the trout outside.
Trout. Trout.
Cooking the trout outside.
there is a land called passive-aggressiva.
Passive. Passive.
There is a land called passive-aggressiva.